Okay, guys, welcome back. Let's just kind of continue on with this. And another thing too is once you have your base assets, like here now I have two different tree symbols, right, that I can use on my architectural project so that it looks like I have varying different types of trees. And same thing with this guy. I could just pull. Oh, let me go to the selection tool. I could just pull that guy. Oh, no, they're grouped. Let me ungroup it. Just pull that guy. And so that could be another type of tree. And frankly, that could be another type of tree. Although I think if I'm going to just use that just as a, with no lines, but just kind of a volume, I'll probably add more dots to it. So I'll do that later as a sample. But this tree here, rather than make it look like this, maybe I just want a black outline of this. So I'm going to convert the black fill to an outline. Oop, select it. And then, but you see how this looks kind of funky? Because the outline is, for the shape of this, again, here, let's just do this so that you guys, I'm going to drill it into you. If I scale this larger, it doesn't look bad at all because the stroke is 1 point. But as this gets smaller, stroke 1 point makes these things look fat. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce the stroke so that I like graphically what I see. I think that looks good. And then I'm going to now take that stroke and I'm going to create an outline on it. So that becomes a shape with multiple anchor points, right? So that's really, really important. And I'm not going to, I think I'm going to do it, but I'm not going to really spend a lot of time making this thing, I guess I started it, but again, I'm just going to deal with it, but that's a little bit funky here. That was too, and some of these things, they don't do well in Revit, so we will see. I'm going to delete that point because that's just an extra point that I don't want to see. Make that, oh. Oh, that's funky. Not sure. Is there a mask? Nope. Okay. I'm just trying to get rid of some of these sharp points here. So again, you create this one artwork and then use your creativity and your imagination to leverage the work that you've already done, right? And not recreate the wheel basically, or pay for it and spend the $9 on somebody else's artwork. Anyway, so this is done. So now you can see when I scale it, it scales proportionally. Super important concept, guys. All right, so now I have a couple of trees already. Let's just go ahead and help you make that one just the volume of the leaves, I guess. What I would do is I would start off with a clean circle as a base, and then change that stroke to my little scatter brush. So now I have that, and then I'm going to come in with my brush, and again, just the upper. And I'm going to come to the outside a little bit so it doesn't look so. Yeah, I'm not digging that actually. It just looks too much like a circle. So I'm gonna actually take this because I actually like the shape of that. Ungroup. Take this guy out. And I just wanted to fill a little bit more over here, just a little bit. And then fill that guy. Yeah. And then maybe I just want, these are like little individual nuggets, so I'm just gonna come here and then maybe change this path here. Oops. Yeah, I like that one a lot better. And these are individuals because I ungrouped them all. So let me just take some of these things off. And there you go. Actually, I don't like these things up here. Put it there. All right, so then I have another scattered thing of trees here, or another trees I can group. So I have that. That looks all right to me. Let me do this one, and I think that's going to be my last demo for the black and white version of the trees. This one, usually for me as an architect, I would just get a straight edge and just kind of, go kind of in this octagonal shape thing and just kind of block out the outlines of the tree and then come in with lines and then just a little, and I would literally draw the little dots in and that's how I would create this particular tree if I was doing it by hand. So I am going to take the pen tool and I'm just going to scratch 1 point. Let's go half a point just so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm just going to hold down and just make a straight line and kind of block out, escape, so I can do a new line. And I'm going to come back in like if I was, like going over a double line, if kind of a thing. Make it look like I was just scratching up the drawing a little bit. Okay. And then I'm going to come in here and do the branch. I think I kind of like it doing it this way. That way I can get 2 branches out of 1. Command. Oop, I snapped on a point and that's what it did. Okay, so I have the basis of my artwork here. Right? It's just, but you can see it looks very digital. Everything's all uniform and things like that. So, and this is why I tell you, to do good work, and especially if this is your work and you want to do it, you want to spend the time and make sure that you get it the way you want it. I'm going to come in with the brush so that I could kind of, I want my basic brush. Oh, come on. What? Oh, just a circle, please. Oop. Gosh, I am a mess. Deselect, brush, and so it's another shortcut here, like your brush thickness. This is a 5 point or 3 point or 4 point. There's a bracket key on your keyboard next to the P, and one of them will reduce it, and the other one will increase it. Give me a sec. So when you get the brush tool, right now it's going to make a circular brush that big. I'm going to just hit one of the brackets so to reduce it. This is, I guess, the smallest I can get it. And I'm going to just kind of connect the, yeah, I'm not liking the scale of that, but it's okay. see what we do here. Okay, I'm okay with that because I am going to adjust the strokes and all that good stuff. So let me pull it out of here so I don't have to see that background. All right, looking a little better. And then again, the trick, I'm going to create outlines. So object, path, outline stroke. So now that is a shape. I can go back in here. Excuse me. And just gonna muck it up a little bit. And you can see how this created a whole bunch of these dots. You know, I actually try to have the least amount of dots as possible. And I'm going to make these kind of, be careful. Delete that one. Did that delete the stroke? Yeah. Oh. Oop. Come on. Oh, that's kind of weird. I can kind of see the difference, guys. Here, let me change the color so that you know that I'm not going crazy. For some reason, you see how these two things aren't closed? So I'm going to just bring this thing in here. Snap the anchor. And these are the little things that if you have experience in, you know, sometimes it comes back to bite you in the butt. So knowing that, I'm going to join it. So now it's joined and oops. Yeah, I mean, this is probably more really advanced as you experience Illustrator more and go through the pains of like, okay, yeah, I need to do a better job of setting up my base. But since I know it's going to be there, and again, I am going to use this in my office, so I think I'm going to take the time to fix it. And I am not going to do all of it just because I kind of like the straight lines too. You know, but you can see how it's coming, it's looking more quote unquote sketchy, right? Because it just, not everything looks so uniform in thickness and in size. So, and that's the idea, is for me to make this thing look as organic as possible. And again, these have a lot of nodes, so I'm gonna I think, and you guys can Google this or try to YouTube it, but I think there's a function in Illustrator where you can just click literally like simplify and it'll, yeah, see, I don't want to get rid of the nodes. Can I? Is there? I think I put up a pen tool where there is a minus function, but anyway, I'm going to just, oh, check it out. I just got my pen tool and I just clicked on the point and that point disappears. Or if I click on a line, part of the line where there's no point, then I get a new anchor point. You know, it's been a while since I've also used Illustrator, so, but it's oddly therapeutic. It's actually quite nice. So I see a lot of anchors here. I don't think I want all that anchor point. Even this guy. Again, the cleaner your artwork and less clutter you have, the more control you'll have over your shapes. So yeah, it looks good. It looks good. It looks like a sloppy ink. And subtle things like if you want to make changes, like here, if you click the inside the shape, it selects the whole thing, even though you're on the direct selection tool. But if you select the path, then the path will open up, for editing. Let's see. Let me first get rid of some anchor points that I don't want. Yes, cool. All right. Yeah, some of these things I don't want too many. Nope, I don't want that one. Get rid of it. All right. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, this path. Yeah, that's looking much sketchier. Let me just do the perimeter first. And again, I'm not doing all of it just because I think I kind of like it. Something looking more regular and something not so regular. But over here, I probably will touch these up because this is looking crazy. And I'm probably going to combine all of these. Ooh. Okay, so this is a intersecting overlapping path. So be careful. You see how this is much cleaner now? Nope, but yeah, I got all kinds of overlaps here. So be mindful of that too. Hopefully you guys can see the difference. Like this thing, these two notes kind of flip, so they're crisscrossing each other. So here. So now I think that's a little bit cleaner. Yeah. I think it's because when I created, and again, I want another node here, so I'm going to just take the pen tool, click on the path, hit A for my direct selection, and so I can kind of like thicken up the branch, if you will. Let me make sure these are all clean. Oh, yeah, you got to be careful, right? So that's an classic overlap, right? So I think I'm going to make another node here for control. Oop. Combine that over there. Yeah, and these I'm going to join them or do a pathfinder altogether anyway. So just want to make sure that there's no crisscrossing of shapes. And there's one right above this guy right here that I'm going to have to address. Here, let's take a look at what's going on there. What are you? Okay, that's because this node is crossed over. So you can see now it's fixed. Yeah, something wasn't right there. So I'm going to do that. Oop. Yeah, it's cool. I'm gonna let me add another one here and just pull it so I can overlap it. Oh. You have to be on the path or else it'll create another point like in space there. Yeah, that's kind of looking like a pinwheel, so I think I'm gonna pull this guy down. Oop. Pull this guy down a little bit and Change the geometry. All right, so I said that looks pretty good. I'm going to select all of these guys and do a Pathfinder combine so that it becomes one, continuous outline, which then I can do that. Of course, I can, you got to reduce the stroke, but you can see it's a clean outline with no overlapping stuff inside. And also when you're creating your artwork, I would always save the raw, like instead of combining everything and like everything all one piece, because you might want to go back later, depending on how it functions in your particular application, that you might want to have individual control where you didn't want to have to combine it, meaning like you wanted that control different from that, because maybe I can create another tree out of that. So, resist combining everything and pathfinding everything, because then it's just all one chunk and it's not easy to edit, right? So I would always have I'm going to call them seed files, where those are your creative files, custom original files, and then make a copy of that to edit, right? That way then you can always go back to the original and everything is all individual. That's another, I guess, a pro tip, if you guys want to call it that. Let me see. I'm going to reduce some of these anchors because it's too much for me. Oop, that's what happens if you don't hit the anchor perfectly. Okay, let's take this now. This is kind of looking like a calligraphy. Okay. So obviously when you're trying to do something that looks organic, I mean, there's no science to it. Just let your eyes be the guide and go like, yeah, I could live with that. Yeah, that looks like some squiggly pencil mark. Yeah, and you see how this is crisscrossing? These are the things that you really don't want, because when you go into other softwares, there is going to cause problems. Just trust me on that. For Illustrator, it'll figure something out, but you want your data to be as clean and clear as possible, I guess. Be like if a little blob of ink got too much ink there. No, I think I'm gonna reduce that here. Don't let that crisscross. I hope you guys saw that. Okay. Now one more. I'm just trying to decide which anchor point to get rid of. Yet still, you see how this is crisscrossing? I'll just delete all of these and then it'll just clean it up. Yeah, that's good. Then I can use... Oop. Like you want to be mindful of here, where if you get these tiny little gaps, maybe, you want to be careful, because printing wise or whatever, I mean, you're just asking for ink to bleed into it, and, then it's going to look pretty messy and uncontrolled. So just, I guess that's a level too of just understanding what's happening when you print. But actually that looks legit, guys. Okay. So here's the inner, and I'm going to keep all the outside kind of sort of independent, but obviously, you know, when you move it around, you have to select it all. Or you could keep this separate and you can keep this as a group. All right. So however way, but ultimately you want to keep a raw data with all individual parts so that you can go back and edit them. Let me see, because these are obviously much larger circles. So let me see if I can cheat and take my little scatter brush and kind of do that for first. And of course, this is a path, right? It's like a stroke, like anything. So I want to outline that. So now they're become individual islands, and I'm going to make them bigger because they are bigger dots than these other dots. I'm going to ungroup. Hold on. Let me see if I could. And that's another thing too. Just, you know, like learning how to cheat is good. I was hoping to be able to. No, I was hoping to change the scale of the stroke, but I guess on a custom scatter brush, you can't do it. Okay. So I'm going to ungroup all, which means that these are individual dots now, which could be painful, but I'm going to bring it in here. Actually, I'm going to group that particular group. And then this is where hopefully you guys taking some art classes where, you know, proportionally like angular wise, if like this is more closer to the 3 o'clock position. I'm going to group. So these are much bigger circles. And then group. Maybe some outside, you know, painting outside the lines. I'm going to rotate these guys so that they're group. Probably rotation is probably somewhere here. Group. Yeah. Looks good to me. Yeah, let's all right. I could probably use a little bit more here. And maybe some overlapping here. Again, you know, have fun, guys. There's no rules to this thing. And then let's just convert that into black so that they all have the same color palette. Oops. Oh, this is the only orange. Okay, so that's perfect. I can do that. Select that and go to select. And I could say same appearance. So it selects everything that is orange. Huh. Except it missed something. Maybe that was a slightly different orange color. All right, cool. There you go. So it's a digital version of this one. Pretty close. I actually like it. I like that it looks organic. And I think that's it. I think I did plenty for you guys, but please don't see this as work. Please see this as developing your own personal skills. Do all of them, challenge yourself to them, spend a couple of hours, recreate them, finesse them, make it all your own. Just really have fun. Really, just really have fun. Okay.